Hey everybody, hope everyone's doing well out there. Hope today finds you okay and fine and good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Let's get this party started.
Hey, before we start, I wanted to say one thing that I was excited about. And I know we're going to talk about it later, but I just wanted to quickly say we got a new Patreon subscriber this week.
Woo!
So, Rachel E., you're awesome.
She's here. Look, she's already here, man. What's up, girl?
Already here? Check that out.
Kicking
So,
it.
and we'll get to the rest of the thank yous later.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
I just want to say, like, it's new. It's exciting. A new one.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
So
everybody's been having a good week, man. I know it's been crazy for me this week, just like getting everything started and with the kids getting back to school, doing the whole like distance learning.
is yours in distance?
It's the what's it called? Distance. Oh, DDL.
DDL.
That's what they call it. The digital distance learning.
You know, I got that little thing, and it got me excited because it made me think of, like, it just sounded so, like, bonus package. You get your DDL.
Right.
You know, I was like,
right.
oh, and I was like, oh, school's starting. Yeah, get into that mode.
Right. Got to get into super dad mode, man. So, like, trying to do the whole, keep everything on a schedule. Mm-hmm. Mine's old enough to where, like, he can pretty much do it all himself. I just got to make sure and check in, you know. Yeah. You got to be there for a little while. But I was telling you earlier, man, like, she's responsible enough, I think. She can handle it.
Yeah, well, she's in 5th grade this year.
Yeah.
So she's now starting to be like, Dad, I got it.
Sure, yeah.
You know, but it's like, it's just starting. Because she's, like, still, like, a little kid. And now she's like, I'm kind of not a little kid.
Kind of not.
And I'm like, but you're kind of little.
Right, little. Yeah. Can you believe mine's freaking high schooler now?
That's insane.
How weird is that? That's pretty weird. I feel like it's weird.
Well, I remember when, like, he was a toddler making fun of me for being fat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you got down. We were doing like the. What was it? We're doing a photo shoot.
Yeah.
He's like, you got boobies.
You got boobs.
And you're doing like push-ups.
I was like, oh man,
stupid
I've
kid.
been working on this for a while too.
Stupid kid. No, but what else have you been up to this week, man?
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm a little excited about it, so I'm gonna say it. Because last week we talked about anxiety,
right?
And we kind of went into diet a little bit,
sure,
as like how that can help a lot if you're dealing with anxiety. And someone messaged us and said, "Hey, speaking of diet, I'm doing this crazy thing, and it's not a physical fitness thing. It's like a mental fitness thing, but
sure.
it involves a lot of physical stuff.
Yeah.
And it's called 75 Hard.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, what is it? So he kind of
75
he explained it, and it's actually pretty cool.
Right.
I can see why it's going to be like one of the hardest things ever.
Right. I mean, it sounds kind of like old people porn.
75 hard.
75
Oh
hard.
my God, right? So you have to read 10 pages a day. And it's just like of a book. Everything is so ridiculously simple in it.
Sure, right.
And I think that's what makes it hard. So every day you have to read.
That was such a kid brain, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes it hard.
So you have to read 10 pages a day.
Yeah.
You have to drink a gallon of water a day.
Okay.
And you have to do one 45-minute workout outside.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what the weather is. Like, there's no excuses. You have to go and sweat outside for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then later you have to do it again, but it can be inside if you want.
Right.
And with all of that, you have to pick a diet and stick to it.
Sure.
So
what did you pick a diet?
Yeah. So it's low carb.
Is it like keto? You're trying to do keto?
I didn't look into keto, so I don't know what the actual rules are.
Don't have sugar, don't have carbs.
But I know, it's basically that.
Yeah,
It's eat 2 cups of vegetables with every meal, 8 to 10 ounces of protein.
Right.
On some of the more stricter versions of it, they're like, don't eat fruit, or don't have, even any vegetable or fruit that's above, a certain glycemic level,
sure.
I guess,
Yeah. You can't even have tomatoes. You don't eat tomatoes.
Yeah. Well, this time around, I'm not worrying about
Sure.
Like not
My
eating
fat
fruit.
brain has taken over.
No,
and I will eat
so
whatever I
basically
want.
it's with, and I can't remember the name of the diet that I did a few years ago that worked for me.
Oh yeah.
It's basically it's that, but when you go like, well,
Veggies and meat. That's what
yeah,
you
it's like
focus
you're eating
on.
veggies and meat.
Yeah.
You can
drink
have
water.
you can have a little bit of fruit. You can have 4 ounces of dairy a day.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so it's like you can have a little bit of dairy. So it's like you can have like creamer in your coffee in the morning if you want to,
Sure.
but then lay off of it later.
Cool.
Or you can have, you know, cheese on your vegetables at night.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
you gotta have the cheese.
You know, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So like it's not a super strict diet, but it's pretty strict because it's like, you know, you're not doing breads or cereals or pastas and no alcohol.
Right.
Which
is good.
I know that's probably not a big thing for you.
No,
But
I
I was
drink.
like, what? No
Yeah.
beer? What?
I can't.
What? I can't believe it.
Yeah. No.
I was so into those hard seltzers.
Yeah, man.
You know, but no, it's fine. I mean,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah. I'm on this daily challenge. It's called living.
living.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is the idea of it is it's not to like it. You're on a diet and you're doing physical stuff, and like, so if you need to lose weight, you're definitely going to lose weight.
Sure.
Because you're working out for an hour and a half a day.
Right.
Without any breaks. So you're definitely going to lose weight if you need to. But it's more about taking specific times out of your day to make sure that things happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
it sounds
like,
more like a discipline style.
yeah,
like it helps.
it's
like,
very much.
discipline
It's
your
like
brain.
it's a mental discipline program.
Right.
And I mean, I feel like the best way to get discipline is to be uncomfortable.
Sure.
So
yeah.
and I know I haven't looked into it, but I know like after this you can do another one, and it's like you got to take a cold shower every day.
Oh yeah.
And you got to like, and it gets more and more extreme.
I've heard of that though.
I
I've heard
haven't.
that's really awesome.
I haven't done any
I
of
need to try
these internet fads
Yeah.
ever, so I'm gonna try this one out.
Well, I actually heard that the whole cold shower thing, the reason I want to try it is it's supposed to shock your nervous system. You know, like the anxiety stuff, like the heavy stuff I deal with, like it's supposed to help alleviate some of that because like, it just shocks your nervous system first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So then you're not like, you're like, you know? Go.
I'm gonna kick your ass right away.
Yeah. You wake, just freezing to death, you know?
I'm gonna do this mental challenge first.
Sure.
And then like
Yeah.
maybe we can get
Yeah.
into it. You
Right.
know, maybe it'll just keep going. I don't know.
Right.
But I was excited about it.
Let's get to the comments real quick. There was.
Oh, look at that! There's a whole bunch.
Yeah, man. Rachel does rock.
75 hard sounds dirty. It does. Absolutely, it does.
Yeah, yeah. And
Oh my god, my friend just did it. Crazy results. Well, that's cool.
that's cool. Yeah, like I'd never heard of it before until our fan. What's his name? Let's give him a shout out. What was his name that sent
His
it?
name is David.
David. David. What's up?
And I believe his Instagram is y'all. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I will,
What if he
like-
doesn't even want us to hand us out?
Dude, we're gonna make him famous because he's awesome. If you don't want to be famous, don't be awesome.
Right.
We'll make you famous.
You know, donuts with without holes. Yeah, that makes sense. No beer, Bishop equals out. That's a thing.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, especially with this quarantine.
Right.
You
right.
know, that was like the joke the first week. It was like, well, I've already done my liquor shopping for the week 3 times.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like,
Right. Sure.
for the week. I'm trying. I'll try to find it.
No, I'm so weird about using
It's
anything.
y'all all y'all.
Y'all,
At
y'all.
all y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he just completed it.
Cool.
He looks good.
Yeah. Looking good. He looked good to begin with. So.
You know, that's the funny thing. Where like any of like the programs, you
Right.
know, where it's like, hey man, take this and you're gonna be awesome and you'll look like this guy, you know, and like all that stuff is I kind of go like, man, like the before guy looks really good.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
want to get to the before step.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Like, what did he do? Like, I don't want to buy this. I want to
Right.
do what he did.
To get there.
Just to get there, because he
fun.
looks pretty good.
Yeah.
He looks like he's slouching,
Right.
and then he looks now.
Now he has good posture.
Now he has good posture.
Now he looks good. So ridiculous.
I just want to know what he did to get the before picture.
Yeah. Is that all you've been up to?
I mean, you know, like other boring work musician stuff.
Yeah, all the
I don't wanna
boring
hear
stuff.
about that.
What about the new interface? Have you set that up yet?
I was gonna wait to say something, but
Dude,
I won't.
I'm jealous about the piece of hardware, man.
I
Because they came out with it after the fact that we upgraded here.
Yeah, we upgraded the main studio, and
Yeah.
then this came out, and I was like, I'm gonna get that for
Oh.
home.
Silly, man.
SSL, Solid
Yeah.
State Logic. They all their stuff's awesome.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make a 2-bay interface and the preamps in it are just they're supposed to be killer.
Yeah.
And they I don't know exactly if it actually has if it's a simulation or if it's the actual circuitry, but they have the
I think it's an actual circuit.
4K.
Yeah, like I think I saw something where they were saying it was an actual circuit. Because all SSL stuff, and when they build it, like it's
They go, we want it to be
yeah
the tits.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if it's not, people talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Have you got it set up yet though, or have you done anything with it? Have you had time? I know like you just got it.
I opened it up and like
Touched it.
and I smelled the box.
Oh yeah.
Cause like man,
Yeah.
music equipment when you get it out of the box.
Is it metal casing? It's metal casing, right?
No, it's plastic.
Plastic.
Yeah.
SSL. No, is it like the?
I can bring it next week.
You need to. Why do
I'll bring it. Now.
you need to bring it?
I should have brought it. I'll bring it next week.
We'll have to do some show and tell, man.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
But the knob,
Yeah.
the volume knob, goes to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's super cool.
So that's super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited, and I've been so on top of that, I've been researching like software stuff.
Sure.
Because
you haven't gotten like anything.
well, it comes with like a couple different DAWs, but
Right.
like we use Reason at the studio, so
Right.
I'm probably just gonna use Reason at home.
Yeah.
But I was looking into the other DAWs that it came with because I was like, well, you have them.
Yeah.
But it does come with I'm gonna say it wrong, but it has its own like native plugins that it comes from SSL.
Oh yeah.
And there's
Am I gonna have to buy one for here too?
Maybe.
Is that what I'm gonna have to do?
maybe, but it has a thing where it's like it's SSL's plugin for vocals, so it's like this awesome compressor, de-esser, and
You guys.
and an EQ with an RTA.
Yeah.
And like it's like
Is it
it's
pre
awesome.
or is it you can adjust afterwards? What is it?
I have to look. It's their VST.
Oh, so it's like, oh, okay. So
you
you
know.
put it in whatever.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's so and I believe
I hate you.
like I think it's VST2, so I think it'll go into anything.
Right,
It
right.
might be VST3.
Sure.
But I know the latest version of Reason handles it, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't be a problem. But then it also had like some other stuff that came with like complete, and one thing I'm excited about is hybrid key. It comes with hybrid keys.
I don't know what that is.
It's for like piano.
Oh okay.
It's a VST for a MIDI piano.
Oh okay.
And I went and like I said, I was like looking at
Isn't
software
it funny
stuff.
you were worried about that with the DAW?
What I was
And
worried
now
about with the DAW
it
was
came with-
solved by getting that interface
Yeah, that's
specifically.
Funny. That's funny.
Yeah, because the SSL the vocal VST,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, like going, oh, am I gonna be too limited with this DAW?
Right,
But then
right,
I get with all this other stuff. That's
Well,
missing.
before we bore all you guys,
everyone's
gonna
like,
probably
we're
talk
bored.
a
You're
lot-
talking like nerd
talk a lot
shit.
more about it next week. But yeah, I know like for me, like my week has been pretty simple. It's just like I've been watching The Legend of Korra, which is like after the Last Airbender.
Okay,
They put it on
I thought
Netflix.
that's what that was.
Yeah.
because it looked like it.
Yeah.
It's very similar art style.
Yeah. I've been binging that, and I bought a new couch.
You sent me a picture of that,
Dude.
Good job, buddy. That thing's awesome.
No, but dude, I had my other couch like 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, way too long. It was like destroyed. It was like the grossest thing. It smelled awful. I had to like Febreze it every day.
It's your college couch still.
It was so
Get
gross.
rid of it.
It was so gross. Well, it takes me forever to like purchase something, you know, for myself, you know, because
Oh yeah, when
it
you're like,
still
no,
works.
it's still good. Why am I gonna get something else?
I can sit on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What? Am I too good to sit on
And then
that?
people come over and they make fun of you, and you're like,
Yeah.
I guess
No, man, but like
it still works.
I've been saving up, and because I was supposed to get it last year, and then everything happened, and you know, holidays and stuff. But like, we finally decided to go and get it, and it's actually like leather. It's an Italian leather. I think the same company that sells them leather is the same ones if like you buy a Ferrari.
What?
It's the same leather. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
After this, you haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna have to take you in there and show you.
Yeah, I want to go see it.
You gotta sit in.
My
It's like a love seat where both the seats recline.
my folks, I
crazy.
know, they were like, it was after I'd become like a teenager, and they're like, okay, we're gonna start getting like nicer stuff now because like the kid's not destroying anything.
Right.
And
buy something that lasts. That's the whole thing. That's
well,
why
yeah.
I bought this. Is like it will last me.
But yeah,
for,
they got yeah, it was an import. It was like Italian leather couch.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's like on the high horse now.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's awesome stuff.
Well, that's what you deal with it though. You deal with it for a few years, and you just sit on a shitty couch for forever, and then you can finally afford something.
Yeah, then
you
you go
saved
like,
up,
oh, well.
saved up for years. You know what I mean? For a couch. You know. Goals. You know,
There's a bunch more comments.
Good
Smelling boxes is another way to get the Rona. That's hilarious.
Oh my god. Oh, that's good.
Put your kids to bed. They can't watch.
I can't watch it. I like this smelling boxes. That's also innuendo for something else. You can write that in the comments if you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I think that's what they meant.
Is that what that meant?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny, like, though, if you commented that
Yeah.
and you weren't thinking that?
You weren't thinking about it?
I'm sure they were.
Maybe. Don't handle Jay's college couch. Have underwear from it's college. You have underwear from college, man.
What's
you need to get rid of those.
It's a spinning rims thing.
Spinning
I
rims.
think it goes back in the... That just makes me think of Birdman. They keep spinning.
Oh, right.
The intro, it's like...
Yeah.
It's like...
Wait.
I think that plays through the whole track, too.
I think you showed me that like a while back.
We'll listen to it later.
Yeah.
We can't play it on here, but like
Something.
we'll listen to it. We'll listen to it later.
Something. Anyway.
It's awesome.
Let's go ahead and get into it, man. So our new vlog did come out today. On Wednesdays, which if you're just now joining us and figuring out what's going on, our blogs and vlogs come out every Wednesday. So
Yeah. It's weird because I'm like, I know it comes out,
yeah,
and then I don't think to tell anybody.
Don't you know?
I don't think to remind people like,
yeah.
hey, it comes out every Wednesday, and like we post it, or you know.
Well, it's like
But we
any
don't really. I don't stop to go like, hey, like so, if you just found us, we'd write blogs too. We do this. We do blogs. We do music. We do lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's there.
It's like any conversation though, just a little insight. When there's just two of you two and you don't have like some team posting all that stuff up for you, we feel weird posting the same things all the time, even though you might not have saw it, because we don't want to tell you the same thing a billion times.
Because we see everything we're doing.
We see
and
everything we do.
That's overwhelming. I don't want anyone to feel that.
We know
way.
you guys don't see everything that we post, though, so we're going to try to get better at it so everybody knows what in the world's going on. So, but yeah, the topic was really cool. I know we sat down and discussed like how we were feeling, because that's how we've been trying to do the vlogs here lately. Is like how we've been feeling, what we've been thinking about. Because that's what's so funny too, is they kind of I was talking to a friend the other day about the vlogs and how they've kind of turned into like almost this like self-help kind of thing, but it's not. We don't mean for it to be like that.
We just need help.
We just need help. No, it's just like that's what we're thinking about. Like that's honestly like what we're working through that week, and I think maybe it's probably more so than it was before because due to circumstances of like what's been going on. But like that's normally what we're working on, is trying to better understand this weird human condition. So that's what we feel like we can talk and philosophize about, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of what
Philosophy.
we started doing this. We're like,
Yeah.
let's talk about what we're thinking about, and get it out, and like,
Right.
and hopefully other people can join in. And
Join in the
Talk to us
conversation
about it, yeah.
So we were covering. I think the title was perspectives this week.
yeah, well, excuse me. I promise I'm feeling fine.
Oh, he's feeling fine, y'all. Ugh.
I went running.
I'm holding
outside.
my. I'm
We're
holding
running
my breath.
outside today.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
What was I saying?
Our vlog or blog.
Talking about the vlog.
The blog. You went running outside today, and then you realized that they just announced that Georgia is the most likely place to be exposed to the COVID-19.
What?
Most likely place in the United States.
Dude, you didn't tell me this.
Right here.
And I didn't see it. And I'm
Right
finding about this
here
now. I'm
in
finding
Georgia.
out about this now.
Not like right here, like in our town, but like in Georgia. Yeah, they announced that.
We need to make a clip of that. Like, Kyle's reaction to finding out that Georgia's the worst place to live right now. How you feel?
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. Well,
Go dogs! That's how I feel.
Right.
I feel like, go dogs!
No, man, it's weird. It's weird. But anyway, yeah, we're just covering perspective. We were talking about what we were going to discuss in this week's blog and talk about here in the vlog. It was just like we're trying to figure out why, like, what is like our perspective of how things are going on right now? What's our perspective of what we're doing with music, vlogs, blogs, clogs, nogs? So I mean, like talking about like what, even like perspective, like what even is it? You know, it's weird. It's hard to describe. It's almost like the thing like last week.
Yeah.
How do you describe perspective?
Yeah. If you just walk up and be like, "What's perspective mean?"
Yeah.
You know, like, you have to sit there and go, it's like how I think about things,
right?
And how I view things.
Yeah.
And
all the
I
things that
know,
apply.
and I know that it is inherently unique to me.
Right.
Because it is weird trying to be a herd animal, but you know that, well, this is a very unique experience for me,
right.
And I'm trying to explain it to someone else, and they go, "Well, I don't get it.
Sure.
I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't understand how you feel about this specific thing because I feel a completely different way about it." And so, I mean, yeah, to me, like, it means like it's my experience.
Yeah, it's the human experience
but then,
from one set point of view, maybe,
or
or even multiple, depends on how you're using it.
and how you feel about it.
Yeah.
So it's your how you take in existence and how you feel about it, and
right.
then I feel like that in turn, you know, sets you up to do what you're going to do. Like, we said this in the blog, like, anytime you do something, you had to have thought about it first.
Right.
Even if it's for a split second because it's a reflex. Because
yeah.
something comes up to you and you put your hands up.
Yeah.
Like, you still had to think about that.
Right.
In a small way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, how you feel about your experience is super important.
Yeah.
And that's what it means to me.
Right. I think I agree. You know, it's like how you view something, all the things that might apply to you that affects how you view something. It kind of encompasses all of that.
Yeah.
You know, whether if that's like life experiences or just your environment or whatnot, that's all kind of encompassed in perspective, I think. And like we were talking about with like earlier about how it's like so easy to like focus on like negative kind of stuff. Like, but it's weird. It's like, is perspective something we can control? Or because sometimes it doesn't feel like that, and you try to shift all of that, and it's like you can't really, because
yeah, people tell you need to change your perspective.
That is your focus. Like, that's where you're at. You know.
Well, I think, at least for me, it's realizing that when you get caught up in a bunch of negative shit, it's because you're supposed to, for a second.
Sure.
And I think the problem is like you get caught up in something instead of just noticing it, because you notice the color red out in the woods, and it's usually because like it's dangerous.
Right.
On an evolutionary level, like that's why like there's some red over in the corner of my eye, or you get that feeling that you are going to fall out of a tree and then you're in your bed. And there's all this stuff where it's like, you're supposed to know about negative things and you're supposed to deal with them.
Right.
So like the fact that like you see negative things and it bothers you, like that's a good thing. That means you're evolved. But I think if you don't do something about it or don't know what to do about it, it causes problems.
Or I guess too, a good way of thinking about maybe like being aware of it. But I mean, but there is an argument though to be said about like being aware of all that stuff can ultimately be worse too, because like it's like the people say, ignorance is bliss. I think that could be true.
Like being aware of things you have no control over.
Yeah,
is that what you mean?
Because then you're like, oh, why am I feeling like I can't do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a lot of moments in my life where I'm like, why do I feel like absolute shit?
Yeah.
Everything's
because
good.
You're worrying about stuff like you can't. Like,
yeah.
Or that doesn't affect you.
Yeah, and I'm like, everything's good. I should have all these things to be grateful for. Or not I should, but I do have all these things to be grateful for. And I start listing them out, and I'm like, this is all these things. Like, why do I feel like ass farts?
Right.
Well,
I think part of that, too, is, like, a lot of us, like, we want to have empathy. So we worry about stuff we don't have control over because you go, like, well, what if one day I did have control? And what if one day I could help with that? Or maybe I should try to find a way that I can help with that in a small way because I'm just one person. You know? So at the same time, like, it's kind of going back to how I feel. It's like if something's negative, like it still is good.
It's good, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
figure it out. Like, work your brain around it.
Yeah.
You know,
it means you care.
Yeah.
Like if you see something and it pisses you off, it means you care about that.
Sure.
So
and depending on your belief structures too. I know, like, a lot for me, the way I view it, it's like things happen for a reason. I don't know if it's like destiny or whatever that is, but I think that there are conflicts that come through us and we have to deal with, and different perspectives that we have to see the world through to learn from them. And I think we have to take the opportunity to face, like you were saying, face those negative things, whether if that's for like a spiritual, I'm using these because I have no idea, I'm a monkey, spiritual growth or soul goodness. I don't know, you know what I'm talking about though? Like,
I know what you're talking about, and I guess from a different perspective.
Oh, see what he did there?
From a different perspective. Is I feel like there are some people that you can go, someone can say everything happens for a reason.
Sure.
You know, and that has this, it has like a spiritual connotation to it.
Right.
Where like it's very philosophical, and it's, you know, it puts you in that room.
Right.
You know, we talk about all the time about like, what room are you in right now?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I can go like, you know, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, and it means the same thing. But when you go, but that connotation of that that perspective is that, well, of course it is because I can see it.
Right.
You know, it's not because I'm wondering about it.
Yeah.
But you are saying the exact same thing. You're observing the exact same things.
But it's like through a different filter.
Yeah.
Or perspective.
We should get a little air horn every time we say perspective. Perspective!
Like confetti comes down. Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, but I do, it's like things happen for a reason, but I do think that, like, you have to make the choice. And I think that you have to do that too with dealing with your perspective, whether if you're facing a lot of negative things, whether if that be like, you know, the hardships right now, like people like losing their jobs, not working like they were, like, what's your perspective? Is it, you know, man, I don't have enough money to do this. I don't have this, and I know, like, some of the, I'm not saying that none of that's not true, but it's focusing on that way versus saying, well, now I have more time to be with my family, and I'm going to be able to make things work this way. Here's how I'm going to make that work. You know what I mean? And it's like going through it in a positive route versus it's like trying to catch yourself. That's what's tough, is because you've got to catch yourself before you go too far.
Well, and I think too, like, because I know that some people are like, well, you know what, like, where I'm at right now, like, I can't see a positive side.
Right. Well, no, not everybody has someone like you, like you're like my best friend. So like whenever all this stuff happened, you know, we're able to come together because we're in the same boat.
Yeah, exactly.
So we go, okay, well, let's look at it this way.
So it might be like that. It's like, well, now it's time to make those things.
Right.
You know, because that's your only option now. And it's, I know what that feels like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, like I can't do anything else except survive.
Sure.
You know? And fortunately for me, like, I haven't had to think that way in a good long while. But at the same time, like, it's a really weird part of the human experience, because like at that moment, like, you're just a human being.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like we forget what it's like to have this primitive perception and sense of existence.
Right.
To where you're like, no, I have to do this because I'm gonna live, and living is a good thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's the one thing to hold on to, is like, because this is all we know.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? So like, work with what you got. You know, like, if all you know is this, and you're like, nah, like, what else do you know? What else do you have to compare it to? I guess, like, we can make all these things up in our heads and have the perspective of, like, the grass is always greener. You know, we look at somebody else and go, like, I bet they have it a lot easier because of A, B, and C.
Yeah.
You know, but
And you
they
didn't
have their own struggles too. They have their own perspective. They have their own filter that they're having to look through.
I wrote down a whole bunch more, and I left that notebook at home. But the one that we talked about this week or earlier this week was that Socrates said. He said, "Be kind to everyone you meet because they're all going."
Is it Socrates or Socrates?
It's Socrates.
I thought it was Socrates.
Well, it's Greek, so it's Socrates.
You sure?
Yes, absolutely sure.
Who says Socrates?
You do.
No, I just
'Cause
heard
you
it said
don't-
like that. I know Socrates, like, oh, it's Socrates. But I thought it was like Socrates was the actual way it was pronounced back then.
No, it's
No.
not.
Okay, anyway, continue. Sorry, stupid. Stupid. Go ahead.
Anyway, he said, "Be kind to everyone because they're going through the same hard struggle you are." And yeah, we're talking about everyone's going through this struggle.
Yeah.
But what we kind of talked about in the blog and was that it's okay to have those negative things, but if that is your focus, it's like this guy told me this story one time, and he said, if you're in a race and you're on a bicycle and you fall off your bike, and it's like it's a big professional race, people are watching and cheering, and you fall off your bike, and if you pull your bike off to the side of the road and talk to all the people about how, like, man, it's not my fault, they're supposed to pave the road, or that guy knocked me down, or
Right.
whatever it is, like, even if you fall down, even if it's not your fault,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't help you to do that. It helps you to get back up and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole point of, like, focusing on negative things and not finding the fastest way to move on from them, like, just doesn't do you any good. So sitting around worrying or like getting lost in that kind of moment, like, it's not good for you.
Well, again, like the whole human experience, that's why you have a lot of people that turn to like substances like cigarettes, alcohol, hard drugs like heroin. You know, pot, like marijuana, any of those things too, to help make it easier for them to change that perspective, so they don't have to. You know what I'm talking about? But obviously, that's in most cases that's negative to your body, you know, for one, or your mental health. But like, because it can be tough to take that and shift it, like to actually like take that hard perspective of like, I don't know, you know, like I said, if I could take it, internalize it, you know, that feeling I get of just like overwhelmedness and almost like a fear, like there's like a scaredness to be okay, and like the struggle of like wanting to feel good, and trying to get out of that without some kind of something else. I mean, obviously you can do the things that are safe. I use the CBD stuff, do the vitamin D, drink a ton of water, try to keep my diet as straight as possible. But even at that, sometimes it's almost near impossible. Yeah. You know, so it's like you have to face it. Like, again, like we were talking about earlier, is being able to face that.
You gotta face it. And I think too, like, I know this is gonna make me sound like a sadist.
Yeah.
But like, I think like embracing something else that's uncomfortable that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, trains your brain.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're used to, like, the thing that's out of control, you have to sit down for a second and go like, I'm going to manufacture this thing that is super difficult, but it's manageable.
Right.
And I think it puts you in that zone, and then when you can't get in that zone to deal with whatever it is you got to deal with, you use that as like that's your substance. That's the thing that like snaps you back into it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't struggle with anxiety really bad, but I do, you know.
Sure.
But I've noticed, like, these past few days, because I'm on day 4 of this thing, the 75 hard.
Yeah.
I've noticed that, like, I'm able to correlate that, oh man, I'm so out of breath. Like, why am I doing 2 workouts a day?
Right,
you know, like, and all that stuff. And,
Yeah.
oh, now I got to read and I forgot. And if I go to, and the thing is, if you forget to do one thing, you have to start over.
Right.
So it's like, you got to measure out your water and make
Yeah.
sure you get it. And you got to, like, you make sure you read those pages because, like, there's no way am I starting over.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that helps with me where it's like, I call it like sweating out the meh.
Yeah, the man.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think like
It's a whole thing, man.
And I saw like we were watching Joe Rogan earlier.
Yeah.
And he said something recently. We said like hard things make normal things easy.
Right.
And every other way that you can find that logic path of
Right.
like, you know, hard things makes hard things attainable.
Sure.
You know.
But it is getting past that.
It makes easy things super easy. You
It's
know,
getting
like,
past that mental block
Yeah.
and that trying to get that perspective shift of I can start
Yeah.
to make that change. And I think that is one thing that is a benefit of being aware. Like I said earlier, I was like saying it might be harder when you are aware, but the benefit of being aware is that you can make that step of like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just gonna do it, you know, and you just do it.
Well, and
And you get through it.
I think too, like my perspective.
Oh, by the way, it was Bill and Ted where they said Socrates. Yeah.
Bill and Ted said it.
Bill and Ted.
Ooh,
Bill.
water back here.
Yeah, so it was Bill and Ted where they said Socrates. That makes sense. Which I think the new one's coming out in a few days, a week.
What?
Yeah,
A
Bill
new
and
one?
Ted 3. Yeah. You
There's,
didn't
like,
know
Keanu
about
Reeves
this?
in it?
Yes, and the other dude. You didn't know this?
No.
What?
I didn't
Where are
know
you
that.
at? Where you at, man?
I've been outside running all
Where
week.
you at?
man.
Where you
I've
at?
been outside.
Outside running?
Outside running.
Man, no, they've been talking about it for like months, man. I'm pretty pumped about it. Like, I was.
How
like,
did you
Bill
find
and
out about it?
Ted. The internet.
Yeah, but where on? Of course, the internet.
I don't know. It
Where
just,
on the
it
internet?
was told
Did
to
you see it on
me.
YouTube.
Well, my
Were you
cat's
on
name's
Instagram?
Rufus. My dog's name's Ted. My other cat's name is Bill.
So you're like you zero in on Bill and Ted stuff.
Maybe that's
Yeah,
why. That's why they're like
you
dialed
knew, you
into
knew
it.
like the first time they
Alex
announced it.
Winter. That's his name. That's Bill. It's Alex Winter.
Steve says I need to get you a Steelers mug, and I say no.
And I say nay
because
nay, no.
I am from Wisconsin, and make fun of me. I don't
Yeah.
care. You know what I mean? Like, why is it so fashionable to make fun of Wisconsin? I want to know why.
Because they're cheesy.
It's true.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is I can't remember what comedian said it, but he was like, yeah, man. He's like, did you know that in Wisconsin there's so much cheese that you can just go to the grocery store and buy it?
Nice.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it is. It's just like there's
Yeah, it's
not like a surplus of
Right.
cheese. The only thing is like there are specific places you can go that are touristy.
Right.
Where it's like, we make cheese here,
Yeah.
and like here it is, and
Well-
they got a restaurant,
well,
and
dude-
like and they find out like all these ways to like make stuff with cheese.
Well,
so
the
that you
reason
can-
the
you
reason
can buy
why
their
people
product.
do that is because their perspective of Wisconsin is the cheese place.
maybe,
That's all it is.
but I mean,
That's all it is.
as
man.
far as like with the Packers, like
Yeah.
their mascot is cheese.
Oh yeah, the cheese head thing.
You know what I mean? So it's like we brought it on ourselves.
Yeah, don't shoot me nothing,
Right.
but I don't follow sports.
Well,
I don't really know about
The funny-
teams.
the other thing is too is we had this whole thing where it was like, come to Wisconsin and smell our derriere.
Right. Oh,
But
okay,
yeah,
wait,
so yeah, like no, I'm a Pack fan. It's cool.
I got one for you, man.
It's cool that I'm a, you know.
You ready for
Make
this?
fun of me, okay.
You ready? Are you listening? You got this? Okay. If everybody's ready, okay? All right. All right. So, you know 50 Cent, right?
Like, do I know him personally?
No, like you know of him.
Yes, I know of him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what did 50 Cent do when he was hungry?
I don't know.
58.
Oh man! Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. I was trying to tell it to someone else the other day, and I did the setup so wrong. And I was like, "Wait, no."
So I got to tell you about a moment from my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I was over at my grandmother's house, and
You must listen to 50 Cent every day.
they had and like there's just like some it was at like an extended family event, and they're like there was a guy, his last name was Fody.
Yeah.
So they're like,
40.
so like, it's something we still say. We'll be like, man, you heard that 40 turned 50?
40 turn 50.
40 turned 50. He ain't 40, he's 50.
Yeah.
And like, we were just all like, just laughing hysterically.
I would like
for Christmases later. You
That's,
know what I mean?
One thing that's impressive that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is a real thing. Well, it's like FOTEY or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? And
but I would like to address the comment from Steve right there. Have y'all read The Secret? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We have. We actually used to listen to it on the road every once in a while. We had the CDs of the audiobook back when CDs were cool.
That was on compact disc, wasn't it?
That was, man.
It would skip a little bit if you went over a bump.
No, I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. It did. Whenever I found that book, when I found it, it was in a time in my life where like I really needed something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I do think a lot of that stuff can be kind of silly, like the whole fat thoughts thing. I think, but hell, that might be a reason why I'm still fat, because I call myself fat all the time, which I'm gonna try to get better at doing. I'm gonna try not to call myself fat as often. So maybe that's what she was talking about. Let's see.
The weirdest thing for me was the one where like I don't need glasses anymore.
Oh yeah.
Then I was like, I don't know. Sure, cool,
yeah,
like awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's one of those things where like, and it's in a lot of people have told you it before,
right?
In one way or another, where if you know, your parents probably told you, or if you went to like a church or synagogue or something, like someone told you, like if you think about stuff, that's what you end up doing.
Yeah.
Because that's how your brain works. So pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Because all of your actions are deliberate, even if it's not conscious. Like there's something in your brain that's making that decision, even if it's a reflex.
Yeah.
So I totally get with that. And of course, like, why doesn't that make sense? So like, I love that book too. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, the whole like LOA thing.
But there was some weird stuff in it.
Yeah, there was some.
But
weird
I was
stuff.
like, you're a little weird, but I like you.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I do think strongly, even like the ideas of this band, like we conceptualized, not making vision boards per se, but we made lists, we made choices and decided on things as they came when that list was being fulfilled.
Well, you know, we're going to talk about this in a minute or so, but I do have something something that we both have been doing recently.
Go ahead and talk about it.
Well,
go ahead and get to it.
I had this thought in my research, because we're doing all this new media stuff.
Yeah.
So like you're always researching media and ideas about it, and philosophies about it.
Yeah.
This stuff's interesting. And so it was actually from like a business standpoint, but it hit me really personally, where I was compelled to think, you know what, like if I put all this stuff down that I'm worrying about, and let's say like none of this existed, let's say like I won the lottery and everything I do turns to gold and I don't worry about anything.
Right.
You know, like what would I do with my day?
Yeah.
And so I wrote it down. I was like, man, like I think like I would get up and I would work out, but I wouldn't work out because like I gotta do it. I'd be like, I'd go on an adventure. I'd be like, I'd just go like explore for a while. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
take a walk through the
get
woods.
out, like have some fun, and like I don't know, maybe I'll go boating today, or maybe I'll just go do something.
Right.
You know? That doesn't necessarily cost anything.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I kind of went through. I was like, and I'd have this perspective about this. Be like, I'd call bullshit because I'm not afraid of anybody. Right. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna like, oh, if I hurt his feelings, then like I might need him for something later. You know, like.
Right.
So I went through all of that, and I was like, there's nothing about my situation right now that says I can't do anything.
Yeah, that you're being restricted by some kind of financial problem.
Yeah, because like all of the stuff that I really wanted.
Yeah.
You know, and it had nothing to do with like, I want to pay my bills and I want to eat, you know, like, because you really want that stuff too.
Yeah.
But like when all that stuff's like you're not worried about any of that. that.
Sure.
Like, what do you actually want? Not just what you need. What do you want?
What do you want? What do you want to
Yeah.
do in your life? Like that. I like that whole thing where we're
How
talking
would
about
you
that.
be?
Yeah. Like if your perfect life,
Yeah.
what does it look like? Now, I guess the problem is if you're very materialistic, yeah, I guess you'll come into an issue where you're like, well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to be on a yacht in the middle of the ocean and do this. Granted, I guess there's ways of figuring that out. You can get on some kind of cruise ship. I think it's actually cheaper to live on a cruise ship these days than it is to actually have an apartment.
Well,
So, yeah, because you get free food,
Or you could be like,
free water.
I'm
I
gonna
think
start.
it's actually,
I'm gonna start
cheaper.
reviewing yachts.
yeah.
And you just like go up to someone, talk some bullshit, and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm gonna review this."
I will review your yacht. No,
You know what? But at the same time, like, I've never done this before, but like, is there really anything saying like you can't just go and like pretend to buy something?
What do you mean?
Well, like, I was just thinking like when someone goes to go and
Kyle the scam artist.
when
is
no.
what I mean.
When someone goes to buy a yacht.
Sure.
And they're like, I need this and I need this. And they go talk to someone about it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's a salesman involved.
Right.
And, you can just be like, no, this is not for me. Because they don't have to know.
Right.
They don't have to know who you are.
Kyle's a bad person.
Go test
y'all.
drive that yacht.
Yeah, go test drive the yacht.
Go test drive it. Just go do it. If you're
Right.
not going to buy it,
Right.
maybe that's your excuse.
But I think that is a good
No,
good
it's not for me.
practice. I'm
I'm gonna go do it.
Not what Kyle's
I'm gonna
talking
go do it.
about. But you can go see like a little copy there. It was one of the notebooks when you first started doing that, and you were writing down some of your goals of like what your ideal day would be like and would it be shaped.
Yeah.
I think that's a good practice for anybody. Like, yeah, if you guys want to give it a shot, we'd love to see even what that looks
I
like
think-
for somebody else.
I think you'll be surprised at what you actually want.
Yeah.
And like I said, yes, of course, like if you want a yacht, then like, well then you gotta really want
gotta
it.
fig- well,
you
you
gotta
gotta-
really want it. You gotta figure out how to get one.
Make choices to
you
get
know?
there.
But I think
I don't think they let you test
a
drive
lot-
yachts either. Kyle's just stupid.
Well, what about like
know.
Tesla? I don't know.
Tesla yacht. Yeah, there we go.
Not a Tesla yacht, but like
Oh,
that's
just
what I'm saying.
say, yeah.
Like, what's the reason why you can't just be like, no, this isn't for me. I'm sorry.
All right.
I,
Is that like one of your dreams, just going up and acting snooty? Like that's what you want to do with your life? Just go around and be like the snood. Like you walk with your pinky out.
if I was gonna
Green
go
Bay
buy
Packers
if I was gonna go
cup.
buy a yacht,
your yacht.
I
is
would
not-
do so, I would do so with a monocle.
Oh right.
You know what I mean? Because it's a yacht. You know what I mean? Like it's a yacht.
All right.
Like
right.
I don't know. I mean, if one's
Maybe.
presented to me and they're like, you could get this, I'm gonna be like, oh man, that'd be really cool. But like right
Right.
now, I'm like,
Right.
like
You know.
a kayak. I want a
Kayak.
You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Or I want to go swimming.
Right.
You know, whatever. But
But it does help whenever you visualize your goals, like whether if you're writing out your ideal day, or even if like some of those aren't attainable right away, having them so you can visualize, just help build that up. So like that way you can help a long-term perspective shift of like meaning, of purpose. Because as humans, I will go ahead and say, we're not professionals. This is just our opinions. We're just talking.
disclaimer.
Disclaimer. We're just talking, man.
We're not liable for
Yeah.
your decisions.
Yeah. Not doctors here. But be able to have your own perspective shift for a long term, so like you can go, okay, I see myself getting here. Now I can focus that I have this purpose to get there, or I have this straight path, you know what I mean? So like my days, I have that to look forward to, or whatever it is,
Well, and I think too is it's like the perception of it is like how are you going to be when you get those things?
Right. Yeah.
Because it's like you're making
You're talking about,
you're
like-
taking small steps to like because it comes down to like I want to feel this way,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like kind of what it comes down to because we're all just mixing chemicals in our brain all the time.
All the time.
You really want to think about like where you are in the
Yeah.
universe. Be like you're a bunch of weird chemicals
Yeah.
mixing
It's a monkey
all
on
the
a
time.
rock.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like have fun, enjoy yourself, stop worrying
Yeah.
so much, figure out how.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, man.
now the other thing,
I like how you just got lost on that.
well-
and you're like, yeah.
the contrast of it is though is you're always told like don't let anyone ever tell you can't do anything. You should dream big and think big.
Yeah.
And I don't think that those ideas are contrasting. I think it's like, yes, you should dream big. You should, have the sky be your limit,
Sure. Yeah.
But starting is the same.
Yeah.
No matter what, whether it's a big goal or a small goal.
Right.
It's that I was thinking that earlier today. I was like, man, it seems like the worst thing ever is starting something that's difficult. Mm-hmm. Because once you're doing it, you're like, oh, I'm fine. Because you condition yourself along the way.
Yeah.
You're just, it's like, it's a rough ride, but I'm getting down the river.
Well, not only that, it's like we told that story last week about me going to when we were opening up for Everclear. Mm-hmm. It's like the same kind of thing. It's like just doing it when you're getting to do. Yeah. Like once I was there.
Yeah.
I'm over.
Yeah, you get on stage and you're like, oh, I'm fine. I'm great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we were playing, I was in the moment. I was there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like before that, I was not. I think that's a big case for a lot of people though, because they see that, and I know I find that personal, and like I can relate with that personally. Is like it is so hard sometimes to make that first step. Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to remember that, like,
and then to continue that step.
Yeah, it's hard to remember that, like, no, it feels better to do that.
Right.
Because,
oh yeah, if I get on the bike for 30 minutes a day, it's like, I feel better.
Oh, it feels good to get rid of this weird stuff
I haven't been on the bike in a week, and I should be.
Get back on it.
I need to get back on it.
I'm gonna come over and kick your ass.
But because it does feel good when you're doing it, but like it's hard to tell yourself, oh, let's do it again. I'll just keep doing it.
Well,
because you stop seeing like results. If you have like this goal, like I know in my head I had this like, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to be healthy. But like you're not really seeing much of it. Like I know it does help with cardiovascular health. And it does help with endurance, and you feel better when you do it. You feel better.
Well, when you're 6'4", and you lose 20 pounds,
you don't see it,
and no one says anything.
You see nothing.
You're like, oh, that's 20 pounds.
Yeah, like we're both big dudes. We're both 6'4".
And they're like, no one,
yeah. I lose 20 pounds. They're like, from where?
Keep going.
Keep going. Where'd it come from? Were you hiding something under your beard or something? You had like a fat sack under there. You lost it all. Where'd it come from? Under my armpits. I don't know, man. But yeah, it is important to get those goals and all that stuff. But yeah, let us know like about if any way like you guys are changing your perspectives, shifting perspectives. Hell, what your perspective is of what's going on these weird times. Let us know. And if you guys do end up making some of these lists and stuff, we'd love to see them. Which is over there. You can go post them up in the fam. We'd love to see that.
I posted something. Well, I posted.
Or if you want to share it, you can personal message. You can send them to us personally too.
Yeah.
We just love to see it. Share it.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
I think you'll be surprised at what you actually want.
Yeah.
And
you do.
Awesome.
You do like you get surprised, and like I know like that's the thing. Like if I see my perfect life laid out, I'm not being held back because of this or that. It's all like this mental block. There's a brick wall in the way. Well, it's battling that,
I came across this is a while back, but it was a hospice nurse that like I think she wrote a book. I'm imagining she did.
Right.
But she would just kind of like document her thoughts about being with people that like are moments away from death, and or like the month leading up to it.
Yeah.
And she said that most people, if they have regrets, they'll say them then,
Yeah.
But they said most of it's like, yeah, I wish I wouldn't have stressed about work so much. I wish I would have just like been like, nah, I'm gonna go hang out with my wife and kids, or I'm gonna. I'm just gonna
let that affect you so much.
I'm just gonna go do this thing that I had access to. It wasn't like, man, I wish I would have done this so that I could have had A, B, and C. Mm-hmm. It was like, I wish I would have just had more time with the stuff I had.
Yeah. But it's hard, man, and you can't blame yourself if you're having a hard time separating yourself from that.
Because it's in there. It's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be able to see negative things.
Yeah, and you're supposed to fight through that as some sort of, again, I don't know spiritually how you feel.
The test from the gods!
Yeah, but I strongly believe that there's some kind of reason why we're having to deal with the things that we deal with throughout our lives.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that deeply within myself. So like whether if that's like challenges that come up with our friendship, you know, other relationships I have, you know, being a dad, like whatever that is, being a son, being a brother, facing those, I feel like there's some reason why we're trying to overcome those different issues, how we deal with things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Death, life, the brick wall that's there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is that my main thing I've got to learn? I've got to battle. It's like, don't ignore those things. Like, I think we should face them now.
Who was that? You sent it to me a while ago. I was like, man, like, if existence isn't that way I want it to be.
You talking about the egg?
Yeah, I think so.
Where we all are one. You are.
Well,
me,
yeah,
I
it
am
was,
you.
and it was like.
It was one entity.
There was
like God's son
yeah,
or something that was.
There was a narrator that said like,
experiencing.
okay, like you die, and then you're gonna go and you're gonna talk to this thing, and you don't know what it is, and it doesn't matter that you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's just gonna walk you through your life and tell you, okay, you did this, and be like, okay, and now this is where we all are in existence, and you have to experience all of existence, or it's basically all of existence has to experience itself.
Right. Yeah.
And
like you.
yeah.
Like so. Like I am you. You are me. We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah. So there's all these like weird quantum nodes, and
Learning
and it's all a
life.
piece, but it's all one thing at the same time.
Figuring out the human experience.
So
through one
how that
consciousness.
translates
Weird.
to your consciousness in that moment is like, okay, like now I'm gonna put your consciousness that I'm gonna put it
Right.
here,
Right.
and it has nothing to do with time. You
Sure.
know, it's all of existence for all time, all space time, everything that
Yeah.
exists has to experience itself.
Right.
And I was like, man, that's like a really, really cool way of talking about
Yeah. Like
existence and
is this?
philosophy. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
we should find that and share it. I can't remember.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll
what
share it
was.
over in the fam. If you guys are following us over there, there's some links there. We got the links to work here on YouTube. So in the description box there, you can just click on the RoshamFAM down there, and it's there.
Sweet.
But yeah, because it is worth it. Face the stuff. I think like we always say, I think in some of our things, like the new thing we've got here is that life is worth it.
Yeah, because we die and stuff.
We die and stuff. Yeah, because that's a real fact.
Yeah.
But
you don't need to be all sad about it.
no, man, this is all we
Like,
know.
We die and stuff.
This is all we know. Be happy. Face those things now. Don't ignore them. You know what I mean? Like, and I say that as like a parent says it, you know, like, because like it's not necessarily that like you have done that and you want them to do it too. It's that like you kind of remind your kids you should do this because you know that you want them to do it because you've been trying to get yourself to do it for so long.
Yeah.
Learn it now. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, like I said,
If that makes sense. I think it does. Hopefully.
earlier this week I dove into a bunch of Socrates quotes. I got like some quick quotes, you know. And one was, and I'm probably gonna say it a little
Butchered.
say it a little wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna say it in Greek, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? This is the English version. This is my English version of what he said. It was commit to memory what people have written down.
Yeah.
Because it comes so easily for you, but it came so hard for them to figure out whatever it was that they felt was important enough to write down.
Right.
And you get the blessing of just having to have it told to you.
Right.
So and,
Butchered.
Yeah.
He never said that.
It was like, you know, far more poetic than that.
Sure. Yeah.
But just like he was like, hey, read stuff.
Yeah.
Because like it's easy for you.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the stuff that's hard for you, write it down so someone else can read it, so we can all progress.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we can get rid of problems slowly for the human race.
So everybody, love one another. Do it now. Let's get to some of these comments here before we wrap this up. Let's see here. Smells like up dog in here. Not here. Maybe there, but not here. The mind is a powerful thing. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And would it be weird if I asked y'all to refer to me as Sir Bishop? And we will call you whatever you want us to call you, man.
You can't test drive yachts. We saw that one.
Yeah,
right?
I can't do that.
But you can Teslas. Steve says you can go test drive a Viper anytime you want to.
You can't.
Oh, you can't?
You can't. I guess he tried to go test drive a Viper. Did you go try to test drive a Viper? If that's true, please let us know.
Yeah, how do you know? Well, I don't know, man. I mean, like, don't you want to, like, test stuff out?
Yeah, you'd have to
before
go.
you get it?
Well, I guess, like, you probably have to put, like, a deposit down, I bet. Because it's such an expensive car. Like, imagine, like, how many people want to go test drive a Viper every day. Think about when you go into Guitar Center, and there's always that one dude getting the most expensive guitar off the shelf, hooks it up to the most expensive amp, and just wails on it. And it's loud as shit.
Yeah, but
in
at the
there.
same time, like, imagine what it's like to be that guy.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he is living his best life.
Best life. Best life.
No, I know what you mean. Well, the thing is at Guitar Center, a lot of times they'll go like, like, we have them in the back.
Right, yeah.
You don't have to
You
have
buy
this
that
one.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, you saw Dude Buddy drop it
Yeah.
20 minutes ago.
Right.
But you can take the display one, though, if you just fall in love with
Right.
the one that's on the thing.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
when I bought that couch earlier last week was because it was on the floor, on the show floor. But it was like, oh, this is new. It's barely been here. And I kept trying to do it, but like they were like one of those undercutter people anyway, so it was still way cheaper than I would have paid somewhere else.
So you got the display.
Yeah, I got the one that was on the floor.
But they were like, oh, it's
Basically brand new. It looked brand new, man. I'll show you when we get. You'll be like, oh,
right.
You're gonna freak out. Anyway,
And then you're like, prove it to me.
prove it. It smells like somebody.
Prove it to me that no one has sat on this couch.
I really do have to put one foot in front of the other. That is so true. Daily, man, daily. And Socrates quick quotes. Could be an insurance agency. Yeah, no stairway to heaven. That's
Like,
true.
I need insurance. Be like, you need knowledge.
Knowledge.
The only good is knowledge. The only evil is ignorance. that was one of his, and that's verbatim.
Right.
Well, English verbatim, because I don't speak Greek.
But we do have a couple. I want to talk real quick before we wrap this up too. That we do have a couple things coming down the pipeline. The mix is done for the new single. I'm going to be getting that mastered here within the next week or two, and we will let you guys know whenever we decide to release that out. I know Patreon will be getting it first, so if you're not on there, get over there. It's right there. Go check it out. We offer all kinds of cool stuff. I think we do our best to like make that way cool.
There is something that I want to talk to everyone in there about, and I think
Look out.
We might make it happen. And also, one thing I did want to say about Patreon is there'll be another post in there, either tonight or tomorrow. When I looked back at what we've been doing in there, I said, okay, like I said, this would be posted up this week, but it was last week. So if anyone was confused about what we said last week about new stuff coming, it is coming this week.
Right.
And that's funny. I thought that said merde.
Merde.
Oh, merde. Which is French for shit.
Right, yeah.
But it says merch.
Right, yeah. But if you guys are over there on the Patreon, thank you so much for being over there. Again, we try our best to make it as cool as possible. We've seen all kinds of people lay out their Patreon and like what they offer. And we're always just trying to like take that extra step.
Yeah, we're like, no,
let's try to make it
more than that.
as cool as we can. If you guys, if you have any ideas of ways we can make it cooler, let us know. Go check it out.
And even if you're not in it and you're like, man, it'd be cool if you did this because I'd totally be in if you did that.
Yeah, let us know. Send us a message,
Mm-hmm.
man. This is how we're able to continue to do this stuff. We hate talking about it, but it's something we got to do. We got to talk about it. This is how we're able to continue to do these vlogs, the blogs, make more music. This is it.
Come out with singles.
Singles. It is Patreon. Mm-hmm. It is Patreon. Go over there and let's go ahead and give our shout outs for Patreon. We've got Nancy B.
Yep. We got Steve B.
Steve B.
We got Renee T.
Renee T.
We got Spencer R.
Spencer R.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we
brand new one.
The brand new one, yeah.
Rachel!
Brand new. Extra party for the. So if you sign up,
Yeah.
and it's your first time,
Yep. Party.
we're going to throw a little party just for you.
Every time.
But at the same time, we need to throw a party for everyone that's
Everybody's
continuing to be in it, because y'all are awesome,
So
too.
be in there. Also, just a reminder as well, we still got our summer sale going on the merch store over there at storefrontier.com/Roshambeaux. We saw a few of you guys sharing the pictures already over there at the RoshamFAM. They look great. Turned out great. I'm so pumped about them. Like, I'm actually probably going to order like maybe like 1 or 2 for myself, because like we don't have them in stock. So I need to have them for my own wear whenever nobody's looking, you know?
That's always a weird thing,
where you
go like, I don't want to wear my own stuff.
Now, but that's,
And then I'm like, no, I want to wear my own stuff. I like it. That's why I made it.
do you think the guy that works at Subway doesn't make himself a damn sandwich?
When he gets home?
Yeah.
Yeah. And no one's like, oh, get in there.
Oh.
Get freaking conceited there.
Getting all conceited.
What's wrong with you?
Right.
You eat your own sandwiches?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's,
So
what, that's what we do.
I think
yeah.
I'm just gonna lay that anxiety down.
Right.
I'm gonna have a new perspective about that.
New perspective.
I'm gonna have a new perspective about that.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing before you take that down, the RX lips. You can go over to our Instagram, and there's the whole story of like how that came to be.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a little interesting.
It is cool.
A little backstory, and we're gonna try to give backstories on all of our stuff coming up. We'll like let you in on that. So.
Right. Yeah. So like, go check all that stuff out. If not, don't. We just love that you're here. We love that you're here joining us in and on the conversation. We love talking to you guys. We love hanging out with you guys, and love the fact that you're still willing to hear us talk about shit.
Yeah.
You know, because we talk, and you allow us to hit the record button. Thanks for all that.
Thank you.
But I would like to do a little special thing real quick, because it's somebody's birthday.
Whose birthday is it?
Grab the guitar.
Oh.
Watch this.
Okay.
If it's your birthday, just sit there for a second. Just sit there. And it is hilarious because you are Mexican. That's a fact. That's why rolling your tongue's hilarious. Trying to figure out how to say words like chorizo. Okay. Here we go.
Happy birthday to you.
It's your birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
It's your birthday.
Happy birthday, dear Aaron.
Aaron. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Oh man.
All right, cool.
You should have brought that out.
Yeah.
You're the percussionist.
I know. But anyway, that's going to do it all for us tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in here. We'll see you over there in the RoshamFAM, and we'll see you guys back next week. If we're back.
Next.
We'll see. We love you guys. Take care. Be cool. We love you guys.
Be your best self.
Be your best self. Live your best life.
Write stuff down.
Write
Figure
it
out
down.
what you want.
Take your goals.
Take your goals.
Do goals. Goals.
Apply yourself.
Goals. Apply
yourself.
Apply it.